All right. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you all on the call this morning. And what a great way to start the week. Absolutely love having you all on the call. And remember, Monday Masterminds, it's a great place for all of you to come as golf professionals to make sure that you are starting your week off in the right way, focused on growing your business, impacting the lives of your students, and at the same time, helping your facility grow. So today we're going to talk about how do we delight your general manager. I think I've heard from many a golf professional and golf coach that sometimes there's a struggle between management and the golf professional. There's a struggle between the value that they perceive that you're generating and the expertise that you have and how that's impacting the facility that you're at. And today what I want to do is give you specific things that you can put into place to ensure that your general manager, or it might be your direct report, your course owner, it could be your director of golf, is on board with you and understanding that you are a vital piece to the puzzle of the success of the facility that you're at. So as always, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start off with a question. So I'm going to go ahead and open up the chat box really quickly here. So I'm going to write in hi so you can all see. And what I'd like you to do is get honest, okay? Because you can all write in there and say, yes, I do all of these things, and we can say that we do them, but really, are we actually doing the things that we need to be doing? So the first question I have for all of you is this. Let me go ahead and click on this. It is, do you currently update your general manager, director of golf, direct report on your progress? Now, if Mike Shirley's on the call or any of the other people who are their own director of golf or general manager, then you have to think about your course owner, okay? So I want you to go ahead. Scott Weiss, thank you for the open, honest. Jose, thank you for the open and honest response. Chad, thank you. But that's why you're on the call. Exactly. That's why you're on the call. Wayne Larson, good job. Okay, good. So everyone, if you could, Steve, Empower, if you can just type it in there. There you go. Donovan, way to go. Good to see. Okay, good. Everyone's awake. It's 5 o'clock in the afternoon in England, so I know that Donovan's up. Okay, occasionally and informally. Well done, Empower. I like the honesty. Okay, the next one would be, if so, what do you update them with? So can you all just share with me what are things that you're sharing with your general manager or your direct report? So go ahead and start firing those in and I'll read them out to everybody. And as you guys are putting those in, I want to show you today some specific ways to do this and how to get the communication stream going really effectively. So I'm not seeing anybody put anything in there. Why is nobody filling out? If so, what do you update them with? So for anybody who said yes, so like Kerry, what do you update them with? Donovan, what do you update them with? What are you telling them? Mainly initiatives and membership conversation. Okay. All right. Well done. Thanks, Empow. Potential for membership, Donovan. Good stuff. Okay, keep on going. Number of participants in clinics. Well done, Wayne Larson. I like that. Numbers on courses. Okay, all right. Good stuff. Keep them coming in if you could. And then finally, I'm going to ask you how often. And for any of you that didn't say yes to this, you're allowed to fill these questions out and you can go ahead and tell me, if I was to do this, I probably should reach out to them, connect with them, how often, and what should you give them? What should you be sharing with them? So come on, Jose, let's see it. Type it in there. I want to see. Throw my iPad all over the place here. What is it? Weekly? Wayne Larson? Okay, good stuff. What is it? Come on, I'm not seeing enough responses here. I know this is a sore subject. And I'll give you an example. I remember presenting at the Golf Course Owners Association, and this was in Florida. And I was presenting there as a coach and sharing with them like the impact that your golf professionals can bring through coaching programs. This is probably 8 or 9 years ago. And I remember the responses. There was a lot of positive responses, but everybody came up to me afterwards and they were all course owners, right? Course owners or directors of, management companies. And they were just like, look, my golf pro doesn't do any of that. My golf pro doesn't do this. My golf pro doesn't do that. And there was this really big animosity towards golf professionals. Like, they don't do anything for me. And I asked them, okay, well, let me ask you this. how often do you track your financials for the business? And they were like, of course, weekly, monthly. Okay, what about inventory? Well, of course. Well, what about the conditions of the course? Well, daily. How often do you actually focus in on communicating with your teaching professionals on the impact they're making at your club? Well, never. Okay, so you don't measure it, but you're frustrated at it, and you're in management. And if there's ever a problem, it's management's problem. You need to be connecting with them. So this is a two-way street. But today, everything I'm going to focus on is what can we do as the golf professional, as the teaching pro, to show them the value that we're bringing to the facility, rather than waiting for them to come to us and tell us what we should be doing. So what I want to do here today is dive into 3 specific ways that you can do this. So for everybody, please grab your pen and paper, grab your notebook, grab your iPad, however you take notes, because I want you to not only take notes on this, but I want to make sure you're putting this into action. So the first thing that we've got to do is we've got to get aligned with our general managers, with our direct reports, okay? And I'm starting to see some good ones: participant numbers, students to member numbers, sales, passes. Okay, good stuff. Member engagement. Okay, good. I see some good stuff coming in. So the first thing that we've got to do here is we have got to figure out, where is our facility making their money? Okay, we all know it's not through golf lessons, because if you're paying 5 or 10 or 15 or 20% to your golf facility and you're doing $100,000 a year, that $15,000 doesn't keep the doors open. It barely pays for the seed for the driving range that you're hitting off of. So what we've got to start to understand is, if we're at a private club, membership retention is their number one focus. They have to have the cash flow coming in from their members paying monthly. That is the running costs of the golf course, okay? We've got to understand, at a public facility, they sell green fees. They might have a driving range, they might have merchandise, they might have a restaurant. But if you look at the percentages, you're going to realize that pretty much 70 to 80% of all their revenue is coming from green fees and cards. And so what we need to start to do is, I'm just going to check if everyone could put their self on mute. Courtney, if you could just check if someone's off of mute, because I'm hearing some noise in the background there. So yeah, if you're on the phone, definitely just put yourself on mute, please. So we've got to start to understand that we've got to align with them on where they make their money, okay? And so rather than talking to them about how many people are in, let's say, my program or my ladies' clinics or in my lesson book, I've got to start to understand how their lesson book, their tee sheet is looking and how their membership is looking. So really starting to look at the big picture of how the facility that you're at runs. Because without that facility, you don't get to teach, you don't get to coach. The second thing is, we've got to start to look at, what are the opportunities? For some private courses, it's, how do I transition let's say a private club, okay? How do I take the social member and make them a full member? How do I take the junior member and make them a full member? How do I retain the members? Yes, we got 50 new members this year, but we lost 40. So how do I retain those members so we can actually grow? At a public facility, it's, how do we sell those tee times right before twilight where people are waiting for half an hour? How do we fill those tee times up? How do we book tournaments on a Sunday afternoon? How can we drive more people to the driving range at this time? And so when you talk with your general manager, you've got to look at them just like they're one of your students. Everything we talk about in coaching, right, is listening to a person's problem and then providing solutions. So I want to challenge you to look at it this way: is you've got to turn over the puzzle pieces to understand the problems that they have, so that you can start to figure out, what are the metrics that need to be measured? What are the ways that you can actually go ahead and prove to them that you are generating revenue for their club, making an impact at their club? Now, one of the best ways to do this, I'm going to give you an example here of a private course. This is Pete Roach, who is in Vail, Colorado. He's one of our RGX coaches, and he's actually a head professional, is doing some coaching and started to get more and more coaching going, but really wanted to show the facility how much revenue he impacted at the club by golf coaching. So very simply, what he did is, at the end of the year, he went in and took a look at all the members and looked at the average spend, and then looked at all the members that he'd had at least 3 points of coaching contact with, and took out their numbers and then started to look at what they had spent that year over the year prior. What you're going to go ahead and see is the average spend went from $2,000 up to 5,000 with those players. Now that's a $3,000 increase. But if you think about that, if you have 450 members at your club, okay, and you start to look at that type of, this is a short season, it's a 6-month season in Vail, Colorado, maybe even 5 months. If you look at that, this is exponentially growing member spend, which means member retention stays high, which means you're driving money to the bottom line of the club. So what I challenge you to start to look at is that if you want a new practice bunker built, if you want them to build you an indoor facility, if you want them to buy you some technology, whatever it's you're looking for, reduce your rate, whatever you're looking for, what I want to challenge you to realize is that in business, they have to make money to spend money. And what we've got to start to look at is more about how we are the coaches, the instructors, we are able to make golfers and keep golfers. And so this is what we need to really start to look at and explain when we're meeting with our general manager, when we're meeting with our direct report. And so with this, I want to challenge each of you to start to define these and start to write them out. And we're already having people sort of start write things in. Green fees and special events at public courses. Well done, Steve. Exactly. Start typing in the things that you start to realize. Where are there areas where the course isn't busy? Where are there areas that aren't being fulfilled? Is there no junior program? Is there no ladies program? What are the things that you could do that would bring direct revenue to that facility? And then the metrics, I'm at a public golf course. So the metrics for us are through the POS system, right? So point of sale, there's a SKU in each one that says playing lesson WR golf and green fee WR golf and range balls WR golf. So we're trying to ensure that we can go into the system and show that revenue. So this is one of the biggest things that we've got to focus in on to start with, is aligning our goals. The second thing, as we move into this, is the communication. It's really starting to understand that we get to bring clarity from the front lines. The way I see this is that, my course owner, my general manager, yes, they're there, but they're not on the driving range listening to people talk. They're not out on the golf course seeing the pace of play and the condition of the course the way we are. I mean, we're out there 6 or 7 days a week for many of us, right? So you're getting insights into what's really happening, what's really working. And so that's something that we can vitally bring to the front line. That when we go ahead and come up with a suggestion of, hey, how about we, run a parent junior tournament on a Sunday afternoon? It's a quiet time. Why don't we do this? It's not just an idea. It's, I've already spoken to 20 of the parents and they're all in. We just need a date. Because you can actually go ahead and make change and take action without even having to talk to the general manager, because it's an idea of yours, but put substance behind the idea. And I think this really relates to the impact that you're going to make. I'm going to show you here shortly one that I put together for my facility in WR Golf, is that you've got to be able to show them the impact you're making individually, and then what impact it looks like for your actual students, the extra money that they're spending at the club. The other thing I want you to focus on is testimonials. Anytime you get a testimonial, I want you to go ahead and forward it to your head professional and your general manager, your director of golf, or your owner, just saying, hey, another happy student, so blessed to be at this golf course. Thanks for the opportunity. You see, they don't get to hear this stuff. They don't get to know how things are moving along about you. If you've won an award lately, have you told your general manager? Have you showed it to them? Have you shared with them? Can we get it out to the email list? It's so vital that we actually start the communication up, because what I found is most general managers want to hear it, but they're too darn busy, right? They've got so many things going on, so many moving parts to their facility that they don't really have time to just stop and ask you, hey, how are you doing? Tell me about the awards you've won and how your students are. So it's our responsibility to show that value. And then again, is the ways that you can create new loyalty and stronger loyalty to the current customer at your facility. Now, again, at a private club, you'd be looking at member events, you'd be looking at leagues, you'd be looking at parent junior tournaments, you'd be looking at all the things that you can do to make sure that that member is eating there more, is playing there more, is practicing there more, and enjoying the experience. At my public facility, ours is our junior tour, our parent junior tour, offers on range balls so the kids can come and practice, our PGA Junior League, our ladies leagues, our ladies coaching, everything that gets them to feel like I'm a member at Empire Ranch. It's a public course, but I want them to be situated. This is my facility. You see, because if not, what are they doing? They're going on Golf Now and they're looking for a place down the road. Where else can I go that's $40 instead of $50? And we're the people that can do that. We are the coach that can actually make that relationship strong, connect them with other people. Remember, we're always talking about these events. How do you connect people rather than just teach them? And then that becomes their facility. So what I want to do now is I just want to see if I can escape out of this. And I'm going to show you a document that I put together. Now, how often do I do it? I do it on a yearly basis. I go ahead and once a year, I go ahead and present this to my general manager. And on top of that, I also meet with him regularly just to find out about how the tournaments went, how much additional revenue we put together. But I want them to know, everything about what we're doing in our community. I'm going to use as many pictures as I possibly can. I want them to see the faces of the students that are at our coaching, that are at their facility. I want them to know that this is the team of coaches that we have. There's additional ones. This is from last year. The junior coaching programs that we run, and just in very brief bullets, give them an update on everything that we're doing in our coaching programs. Now, as I go through this, it's going to become more important because as we go through, you see PJ Junior League and heading, but now here are the testimonials. This is what people are saying about what we're doing in our coaching at their facility, okay? We've also got, this was the reopening plans. We put this together right around probably April or May of last year as we were reopening after COVID to show them what we would be doing. We put together the calendar of how we were going to be changing classes. And then most importantly, this is what we pay you. This is the revenue that we bring through tournaments. This is the rent. This is the green fees. This is the stuff that we are doing on a daily basis that generates revenue for your club. Now, what's more important about this one, though, is, I'm just going to come back to this if I can and present that, is the whole concept of, I'm going to go ahead and present this, is okay, sorry about that. I'm just going to come back down to where I was. It was all about what is the actual revenue that our students are bringing to you. So we did a survey. We have 400 students a year currently that are coming out to our coaching, and we surveyed 100 of them. We found that the average person was spending over just under $900 a year on range balls and green fees at the facility, but 83% of our students were new to the facility through WR Golf, i.e. we've gone into the schools, we've gone out and connected with the community and businesses and brought people in. And so this is where we can show them that if you take that $900 and you times that by the 400 students, I'm no mathematician, but that's now in the hundreds of thousands of dollars that we're impacting the club. So yes, here's the direct revenue that's coming straight from my business to yours. But what's more important is 10 times that is coming through what I'm actually doing to impact at your facility through the players that are playing here because of the programs I put together, because of what we're doing in the community. And so as we get this communication, this is where I want to challenge each and every one of you to now go ahead and think of it as a partnership. Okay, you are not an employee of your facility. You might be, but I don't want you to see yourself as an employee. I want you to see as partners that they're providing you a place to do what you love, to teach and to coach and play the game of golf and help people to achieve their potential. And in a partnership, what we've got to go ahead and understand is, as a coach, we've got to go ahead and track metrics. Remember how I started this whole concept was consider them a player, right? What are their struggles? Where do they want to get to? What are you going to track? Well, make sure you are keeping score of this. Make sure you know the numbers that you're driving to them. Second of all, propose actions and advice on what you can do without their time and effort. Not, hey, here's things that you should change, but could you give me more tee times at this time because I could implement these things? You want to be a problem solver, not a problem pointer. Don't point out problems. No general manager or leader wants to hear them. They want to hear the solutions. And I think the third and final thing that's most important is be flawless on the follow-up. you've got to make sure to actually get in there and communicate with them. And I love, Empower, how you honestly, hey, I just have these general check-ins. I would challenge you to just say, look, this week, go ahead and say to them, look, can we set up a time to talk once a quarter? Every 3 months, let's just review what's going on. What's the plan for this summer? What's happening? And I'm not talking about programming and what programming you're going to put in the membership thing or on the website. I'm talking about how am I driving the metrics that you need me to work on? What are they looking for? And how are we going to improve that on a constant basis? What I found is time and time again is when a general manager does get on board and when they do understand it, it drives revenue through the roof because now you're actually using the most valuable asset at the facility. The most valuable asset at the facility to me is the professional. It's the teaching pro that can actually grow the game. It's the teaching pro that actually can do the work to actually engage those members. Now, I think I saw Brian Wise. Let me see. I think I just saw him sneak on. So we're going to throw him right under the bus right here. Brian, you were just working on your document for your facility, and you can unmute yourself right now, Brian, even if you're in the middle of stuff. And I want you to just give a bit of insight. What is it you're presenting to your facility right now? How has it shifted in the way you've been thinking to show them how you'd like to coach more and work in the pro shop less? You there, B? You're unmuted, but we don't hear you. I'm sure it's amazing stuff that you're saying. Oh, Brian, we're not hearing you. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead then and sneak in and tell you what Brian's doing right now. So, I mean, it was to start with just, hey, here's what I'm doing. I'm a coach, and I really want to work more out on the lesson tee and play more golf, right? What it is now is, here's how I brought you 80,000 additional, oh, here he is. He's in the waiting room. Maybe he's coming in again. We'll see if he can hear him. Here's how I brought you $80,000 worth of additional club sales. Here's how we had 200% increase on rounds at this time. Here's how we did. It was all the measurables. All right, Brian, if you're there, you can, there you go. All right.
You know what's funny is I haven't done this on my phone. I'm in the pro shop right now, so I'm like, I just started going back to work. So, you were asking about metrics, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, what did you present? Yeah. What are you presenting to them right now so they can say yes to you being more of a coach?
Yeah, I'm presenting to them the idea that not just club sales, but how players are going to be active members. I think most general managers, want to hear that they're going to have an active membership. I think that's the most important thing that they want to hear, because, there's a limit now. I mean, with COVID, we're getting swamped with memberships. It's great to have members, but if you can get them, having a beer at the club, buying clubs at the club, using the club for their purpose. And that's what a coach can do, right? When you look at people's clubs and you say, oh man, those are older than Will. I did that for you. But those clubs are older than you can sell clubs, and then you start to measure them. Like, so, I have the numbers. This year was the first year of coaching at our club, and I have the numbers, and we gained 200,000 in the shop, right? 250,000 in the shop, and then I spread it out to where it gained, and that's in clubs. That doesn't even include lessons, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how did that shift for you as far as in your mind? Were you thinking that way before you started to put these metrics together to share with them, or how were you thinking as far as what your position was before you started to shift towards a coaching mindset?
I think as coaches, you don't realize how much you actually affect that, I guess is the best way to put it. I think, you don't realize how active your players are at the club. And it's important to track. Like this year, I'm going to do a better, all the fittings and all the club sales of anybody that I coach, I'm going to track specifically. And that's not just for me. That's for my head professional as well, because he's going to be the one that allows me to stay out there more and be less in the shop.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Brian. That's awesome. And so I've seen this time and time again. I'm just thinking right now of someone, Sarah Dant, right? Sarah had 3 members go to the general manager and say, I joined the club because of Sarah's program. And it's over $100,000 to join this club. So the value that rises up when they see that this is what Sarah's doing, that she's not out there just teaching a lesson, that she's got 100 ladies in her program who are all following her, her little ducklings, we call them. They just whatever Sarah does, they follow, right? And so this is the impact that we have to start to think about on a daily basis, is that this is how you get into partnership. And if you have a strained relationship with your general manager or your head pro or your direct report, I want you to get humble and start to share with them. Just say, look, I believe there's more impact and I want to prove it to you. This is the biggest thing. You can't ask them to trust you, okay? Because the thing is, they've been burnt too many times. That's what I've heard from so many course owners, right? Oh, I've heard it all before, it never happened. What I want you to do is I want you to start to prove it and say, look, could I get 3 tee times on a Sunday afternoon? I remember our first junior tour, we had 4 kids in it. Right? We had 4 kids and me, and we're out there on the golf course and the parents are following us. It's now junior tournaments. Anytime there's a Sunday afternoon free, we take up the golf course. We have a shotgun. We cut it down to now 40 players. So we can do a 9-hole shotgun. But I mean, literally, we could sell 70 out any weekend and it's slammed, and they love having us out there. And when it's not COVID, we're selling extra carts, we're selling extra food, we're selling extra drink, we're selling sets of clubs, they're buying gloves, and it's busy. And so the idea is I want to challenge you to meet with them, share your ideas with them this week, and just pick one area that you think you might be able to work on. And don't make it a direct benefit to you. Don't make it, oh, if I teach these ladies, I'm going to make a bunch of money. It's, well, why don't we go ahead and get the lady membership together and put together some sort of a club for them to join, and they can start playing together. So it may not directly help you, but in the big picture, it does help you, because now the club is more active. And most importantly, you have your general manager and you have the course owner or the management company on your side. And I think that is the biggest thing for our success, is you have to have a partnership that's working and you're all moving in the same direction. And as we move into this new era of the modern golf coach, who's actually focusing on driving retention, driving new students to the game, increasing spend, guaranteeing results for players, creating community. When you're looking at that, you do not want to be left in the dust, right? Where you're standing there without a position and you're going to a new facility saying, well, I teach lessons. That's not player development. It's I grow the game. I generate revenue for the facility. These are the things that you've got to start to learn how to do in your business. Because if you do those, then you're bringing value. If you're bringing value, guess what? You will be at a great golf course. You will have students. So with that said, I want to be respectful of everybody's time. And as always, I greatly appreciate all of you taking the time to get on this call. The biggest thing now is obviously taking action. You've taken notes today. What are you going to do today? So while we wrap up this call, I want you to just type in there today. Anyone going to put in there, I'm going to talk to my general manager, my head pro. What are you going to do today, this week, to make sure you're moving forward and you're not just listening to information? Okay, information is great. Implementation is what counts. For all of you that are in RGX, look forward to talking to you on calls this week. For those of you who aren't, who are looking to improve their business, who are looking to make a huge impact, but maybe you've got some struggles, maybe you've got things holding you back, or you've got some questions, let's hop on a call. Let's have a chat. You can reach out to me, rgxcoach.com, explore. Let's get on a call, see how we can help you out, see how we can get you on the right journey. For everybody else, and for those of you who are busy and crazy, insanely busy, and maybe need some help with that, please be sure to reach out. And I look forward to seeing you all next week on Monday Mastermind. Thanks, everybody. Much enjoyed as always. Thanks, Wayne. Thanks, Mark. See you guys.